So we come into the last quadrant, the running costs quadrant. We've just left cost of people and we're crossing into running costs. As you can see, we have to pay the wages, so that's 400,000 units of money. And as you saw from the last segment of video, I didn't have sufficient funds to pay the wages, which occasionally happens in practice. So this is a fair representation of sometimes what happens. So I've just borrowed some. So the money I have now is I've just borrowed some money for the rest of the game. So as we go through the last quadrant, we look at running costs, looking at those things that perhaps the team are just unaware of, things that just have to be paid, whether they see people or not, whether they have charged for the work they did or not. Running costs are fixed and they're just going to happen. So if we start here with insurance, whether that's buildings insurance, people insurance, professional insurance, insurances have to be paid. You're a business, you've got members of the public in the building, you've got vets on the road driving cars, there are insurance costs. And these are a number which, okay, in the whole scheme of things may not seem a big number, but by anybody's stretch of anybody's imagination, 10,000 units of money in a £1 million business is still a large chunk of cash, and it's worth realising it's there. As we move into finance costs, you will have some money which is borrowed, you may have monies, products on lease, so you will have finance costs. Just in the same way your team members have mortgages, or they've taken out loans, or they've got a sofa from DFS on interest-free credit, they have a finance arrangement. Again, this is worth bringing to the attention of the team to say, look, it's just like running your household. Having a business, we've got mortgage costs, we've got lease costs, we've got short-term loan costs, and we have all of the same things, but just on a bit of a bigger scale. And I think, as we go through these, the idea that repairs do need to be, they do need to happen. A piece of equipment, a piece of the building may need repairing, roofs, windows, electrics, plumbing. You think of all of those things that just break down, and you have to fix them, because without that you can't keep the building open. It's not safe for team members, it's not safe for pets, and it's not safe for members of the public. It may be that you rent your building, in which case then you've got rent. Again, as a training exercise, this is brilliant, because most of your team members will either have mortgage costs or rent costs or loan costs, or have to put some repairs through for damage, for guttering or windows, and helping people make a correlation between their everyday lives and the running of the business connects them to why it matters that people pay at the time, that services are correctly charged, that we do make sure that people receive great care but actually pay for the care they received. Professional fees, accountants, lawyers, those individuals again that you just have to pay. You have to submit accounts, you will have professional fees, you will have to take legal advice. You're running a business, you're employing 30, 40 people, and inevitably there will be times when you need professional fee advice. And again, the team need to know that they worry about asking for £50 or £60 for a consultation. Well, your average lawyer or solicitor's fee is going to be significantly higher than that for an hourly consultation. Marketing, we've been quite optimistic here. We said you're going to spend a reasonable amount of money on marketing, though typically most practices spend very, very little, less than 0.5% of revenue. So marketing costs significant to make sure that you keep getting noticed. If we go back to the customer journey, the first quadrant is if the people don't know you exist, then they're not going to pick up the phone and ring you. So marketing, as we move into the next 3 or 4 years, is going to be even more critical to you creating a sustainable pipeline of new customers. Business rates, as we come up to the end of the running costs, again, people will be aware that they pay council tax, that they have taxes associated with where they live, and rates do exist. You're a business, you've got them. So this whole section here, the running cost section, I borrowed some money to try and pay all of these, is that by the time we get to the end, has anybody got anything left? Is there any money left? And it brings home in really stark contrast that unless you've got sufficient clients on the first part of the board, so unless you've collected these guys on the way on the customer journey, you can't then transfer that into cash to pay all of these bills. So making sure that this running cost section, we get to the end of it with something in our hands, is all a function of what we did on the first side of the board. So there you go, those are the 4 quadrants. We've looked at revenue, cost of goods, cost of people, and running costs. So good luck. Hopefully you'll enjoy playing this and induct all your new starters. At least you'll understand where the money comes from and where the money goes. So thank you.